All right, you guys are really gonna wanna listen to this one. I just got off an interview with my former client and newest real estate agent in New York City, Evelina Kushnir, and we talk about what it's like getting started as a real estate agent in New York City and what it's like being 3 months into the business as a successful, might I mention, real estate agent in New York City. My name is Lauren Plant, mindset and performance coach. Just a reminder, all of my information is in the description, a free discovery call with me if you're interested in coaching, and a lot of other tools and resources there for you to utilize. So I won't make you wait any longer. Tune into this. It's inspirational, it's incredible, and it really will tell you what it's like to get started if you get started in the right place and do the right things as a real estate agent. Let's check it out. Hi, everyone. I am really excited to introduce to you guys my client now, real estate agent in New York City, doing really, really well. We have Evelina. Evelina, if you can introduce yourself.
Hi, Lauren. First of all, I'm so excited to be on your YouTube, on your podcast. You've been my role model since I met you. But yeah, my name is Evelina. Sometimes people call me Evelyn, but I prefer Evelina. I'm a real estate agent in New York City, and I cannot get enough of what life turned out to be for me. And I cannot be more grateful. And I'm so excited to deep dive with Lauren about all of my struggles, about my journey, successes, and everything, and to share it with you.
Yeah. And you and I worked together for 4 months, a little bit before and during, as you were becoming a real estate agent. And can you tell everybody kind of where you came from? Like kind of that journey as to moving to New York City, because moving to New York City was a huge dream of yours. That was something that was like, it was really in the distance and you're like, how am I going to get there? So you're from Belarus and then you moved to
Delaware. Yeah. So all of my life since I was born, I was dreaming big, and dreaming big involves New York City. So when I got a chance to move to the United States, I first started small because I understood that I need to become financially independent. I need to take care of myself, and I needed to figure out what I want to do with my life, because real estate didn't come when I was a young person. I wasn't thinking about this job. So when I moved to Delaware, I started working as a waitress. Of course, that is how you start. But it was an amazing experience because I understood I love people and I'm really good with sales. And of course, I needed an upgrade. So that is why in real estate came handy. And I believe because, people say that it takes 7 or 10 mentions before you go with the product if we're talking about sales. Same with real estate. I was watching Selling Sunset that became very popular. I just enjoyed the lifestyle and everything. Then came $1 Million Listing. And then I started the research and just to figure out, is that for myself or I'm just lying to myself because I'm used to it. And that is when I met you. Because I went to YouTube and I was like, becoming a real estate agent. And then I saw the girl, Lauren. Okay, I need Lauren in my life.
Thank you, algorithm.
Yeah. And the law of attraction, I really believe in it. And I know that you're such a great supporter of that law as well. And I needed you in my life. And we became the whole. I remember how you were talking about our first session. You were saying that I was trying to convince you that I'm going to be a good real estate agent.
I do.
It feels like it was 5 years ago. It's only been a few months, but I met you, Lauren, to your question. I met you when I was struggling because, before you rise, you go deep down. So it's deep down. I was the city that I hated. I didn't surround myself with people that I loved. I only had my amazing roommates and that's it, no one else. Then I didn't have an opportunity to grow because it was kind of like a small, tiny town that I was born in Belarus. Same, but only in the United States. And I hated my job at that time. I no, enough. So that is when I was struggling. And that is when I met you. And you were such a important person and still is in my life. But with your help, I remember I was looking forward to our sessions each week.
Yeah.
And because with you, we were building my future. We were building the vision of how I want to live my life, what I want to do, how I want to help people. Because the end purpose of the job that you do, you want to help.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what you came to me with too. And thank you. I mean, I'm going to tear up if you say any more.
Please.
That's
I cried enough during our sessions.
That's true. That's true. And that's what, and I remember you coming to me with that. And a lot of agents do come to me with that, but you in particular, you're just so passionate. You're just like, I want this so bad, Lauren. I want it so bad. And I just want to help people. I don't know how I'm going to get there. And I knew from that moment that you were going to, and it's so crazy to hear your story and how it all unfolded because you're doing so well. And I want to ask you, you know, when we worked together for those 4 months, like as you were becoming an agent, why did you decide to do coaching before becoming an agent? What made you make that decision for yourself? Because that's a big investment.
First of all, it's so worth it.
Yeah.
It helps if you were born in a big city and you have some connections just from your friends circle, right? Mm-hmm. You can ask someone, they can give you some insights, but I had no one and I knew nothing about besides what they were showing me on the TV shows, which obviously has nothing in common with real estate in reality. Don't watch
Thank you. Yes, very true.
But that is how I live my life. If I know that I don't know something good enough, I ask for help. And I'm not shy asking for help. And I understand that I need help. So for example, as you know, I have a sister and we're so different. Her opinion was that, Evelina, you know what you want. Why do you need another person to tell you what you already know?
Yeah.
I was like, no. So here how it works. Because I understand I don't have experience. I have nothing again. And you have everything that I wanted and I still want. So for me, that was the bridge that could make my dream a reality. That is what I enjoyed the most because you gave me a hand and introduced me to that world. Mm-hmm. It wasn't really nice conversations all the time. It was conversations about struggles. In order to become successful, it doesn't matter where you are. You need to work on yourself first. And I believe, Lauren, that was the biggest struggle with me as your client. And I watch your videos. I know that your clients, that is what you work first with them. Yeah. And it's so crucial and so important.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're huge into self-development. Like you're a person that works on your self-development every single day from the moment that you wake up. I think that's brought you to where you are now. And we did do a lot of mindset shifting, right? We did do a lot of like, I can do it, but what if it turns out good? And like positive, working towards that positive type of mentality. And I'd say that's what kind of kept you going. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It made a huge difference.
For sure. And I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I know you say it to everyone, but I cannot stress enough that routines are everything. And because I was able to change it, but you know what? I know myself, and I know that you have to repeat the same thing for me like 30 times before I actually implement it. But when we stopped working together, I was like, okay, right now I need to put responsibility in my hands. I cannot rely on someone else. Mm-hmm. And that is how and when it happened, only because of that tremendous work that we've done. But in the mornings, I like to listen to Brian Tracy lately. I don't know how I met him. It's like you. He just was in my YouTube recommendations. And I really liked the thought that he said, this morning. He said that I was born with some great advantages. Mm-hmm. And he said, my family was poor. Mm-hmm. I didn't have debt. Mm-hmm. And I had nothing in my life. And I was like, oh my God. Because before I used to blame my parents that I wasn't born in the United States. I was blaming everyone else besides myself that I don't have something in my life.
Yeah.
But the way he just verbalized it, I was born with advantages. I was like, I can relate. Okay. I was born with advantages as well.
Yeah. And it's so true. It's like our failures, our disadvantages are actually, it's like, those are a thank you. Thank you. When you say thank you to those disadvantages and thank you to those failures, you're able to look in the other direction and say, what's on the other side of that? Because we all come from something. Everybody has a story.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And what you decide to do with that story is up to you. And and we're going to get into it. You took that story and you went with it. You did everything that you could with it. But first I want to know, I'm sure the viewers want to know, like, what was it like starting as a New York City real estate agent, new agent in the city? You're new to the city. Like, you didn't know the city. You didn't know real estate. You're brand new.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't my first time when I deep dive in something completely new, because what you have to know about myself, I am such an adventurist. I don't know. I like everything spontaneously. Mm-hmm. So when I finished my college in Belarus, I went by myself to Shanghai, teach English to toddlers. And I have nothing in common with children and myself. And I was by myself in a huge city. So it was kind of a preview of what I would get in New York. So then spontaneously, I moved to the United States. Mm-hmm. And out of the blue, I knew that is where I belong. So that is why I stayed. So coming to New York City by myself was my kind of third time, not maybe even fourth, doing the same experience over and over again. Mm. But I know deep down here that it's my end destination. And I was just meant to be here because of my energy, because of my ambitions, because what I want to give and get. New York, that is the place for me. It was scary, but it was so exciting. So my level of excitement was way higher than my level of stress. Oh, it was stressful, extremely stressful, don't get me wrong. And also, when I was studying for real estate agent at school, by the way, Lauren has the best recommendations of the brokerages of the schools, everything. So you were a huge help. And I was also dealing with so many other issues, and I still am. But maybe so many of your agents don't know because you mainly work with them on real estate, mm-hmm. on who they are. But let me tell other people that we've worked on the eating disorder with you as well. Wow. As crazy as it sounds.
Yeah.
But trying to open a new chapter in my life, I needed to close some of them obstacles that were preventing me to unfold, let's say. Right. So that is why it was a journey. Mm-hmm. But because of your recommendation, I went to like an amazing brokerage, and I had the interview, and I felt, oh my God, people are friendly. I thought that people in New York City, they're like, can I say assholes?
You can say assholes.
But people at that brokerage, I was like, oh my God, they're so nice. Are they trying to take advantage of me? What's going on? Am I being lied to? So, because I didn't expect that level of commitment to me as a new agent, and I got it. So then I came to another brokerage and I got the assholes. And I was like, I want to go there. I want to prove they're wrong. But then
I remember that.
I knew that. But then I was like, why? Why do I need to put myself into struggling if there is an amazing company that accepts who I am and is willing to put some work into making myself a professional.
Yeah.
So that is why, like, I think it was a turning point for me as well, because the other brokerage, that is what I would go if I would be myself like half a year ago. But yeah, it was a huge change and it was stressful. I remember I was sweating. I was nervous and I was like, how do I need to talk? Because obviously I know nothing. But I just decided to be myself, be honest, and that is who they liked. That is who they asked to join to the brokerage. And of course, I was able to join an amazing team.
Yeah. Yeah, you're on the Anwar team now over at LG Fairmont.
The Anwar team. Shame Anwar is written on my phone as the one and only.
Yep. And I think that was really good for you to find that place in which you wanted to be. Like you said, you know, we went through your needs. What do you need as a real estate agent? What do you need as a person? What kind of atmosphere do you need to be in?
I trusted you a lot. I saw that you were so involved in me, in what I want and need. Yeah. And because you recommended that brokerage, because I like the people who were there. Mm-hmm. So it was a big plus for LG Fairmont.
Yeah. And thank you for trusting me because it's a scary process, right? Yeah. So it was good. You definitely took my recommendation based off everything you told me that you were looking for. And it was a match because now you're up and running, you're in the process, and you're how many contracts in? You're 3 months in.
I know it's so silly, but I don't remember. Let's count.
That's how you know that you're doing pretty good.
I mean, with Shema, like we're busy all of the time, and I like it. It can be overwhelming, but when you shift that, because you're an independent contractor, you know that the amount of work you do is going to be reflected in how much you get.
Right.
And if you're lazy, you won't get enough, and that is when people get upset with real estate because they don't put like enough effort.
Right.
And it was me in the beginning, but then I was like, no, let's change something. And that is when the routine went helpful.
Yeah.
But what we were talking about, the contract. Our listing in downtown Brooklyn went for over ask, and it was amazing. So it was the third one. Fourth, we have, I just got like, of course I'm on the team, and my team leader, she helps me a lot. And I just put into contract the deal that I was mainly taken care of by myself. But of course, Shema was a huge help as well. Yeah. But I was the first person to interact with everyone. So that is how it was different. So I believe that is my first deal that I put into contract.
And that was almost $1 million, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And it like people were amazing.
Yeah.
That is why I like all of our clients. They are so great. That is why I want to do all of that hard work for them just to see the smile on their face and just to see that thank you text. Mm-hmm. Because with our clients, like we're texting, we have cats in our text groups. We are exchanging like smiley faces and everything. It's a friendly conversation.
Yeah.
That is what they say. They're shopping with a friend. And that is what they like.
Right.
And also talking about contracts. Sometimes when I have not the best days, and I have them a lot, but I remind myself, okay, Ryan Serhant put 2 deals into contract during his first year in real estate.
Yeah.
I already put 3 times as many. I was like, okay, there is some hope here. And that the comparison can be so bad, but it can be so good. Mm-hmm. So that is what I remind myself of.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're about 5-6 contracts in and 1 deal closed, 3 months in.
Yes. And we have 2 more deals pending.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good for a brand new agent. Did you even know this was possible? Like I remember having this conversation with you and it's funny because when we can't see what's in front of us, you know, it's just like, we don't know what's possible. And when you take the right steps and you keep doing the right things, and every single day you wake up, even when you don't want to, and you keep putting in the work, it just goes to show, like, look at what you're doing. You're doing unheard of things, like X amount of contracts in this small amount of time as a brand new agent. And I would say a lot of it, from what you were saying, has a lot to do with like the support and guidance that you have, the team that you're on, and all the steps that you took. Like, you invested in yourself. People forget that investing in yourself, time-wise, financially, anything, will spring you forward so much faster.
Yes.
It's just going to be there faster. Yeah. So I want to ask, you know, on top of that, like, what has made the biggest difference for you as a new agent in your growth? Like the biggest things that kind of happened along your journey that took you to these places?
Good question. So first, that's self-development and changing who I am.
Yeah.
Because without that, in any field that you're trying to build your future, you cannot do anything. So that is why I needed to work on myself so much. So I started first with the routine. I knew I've listened to so many people who are financially stable, who love what they're doing, and who are able to help people first. I've read so many books. And during different stages of my life, I was doing different routines. So that is when all of them became helpful, because I knew which ones I enjoyed and which ones I didn't. So the way I start my mornings right now, I wake up early. I love waking up early, because when the rest of the world is sleeping, I know I'm awake, and that's me time. So I don't like to exercise too much, but in the morning, when you like tackle that thing, you feel so powerful. Do the hardest thing first. So roll my mat and do exercises. Half an hour. Sometimes I need to first force myself, but after that, the feeling is amazing. And you already know that the day is not worthless. Like, I already achieved something. So then I read my books. That is when I am able to give some insights on what I can change. And right now, I started to write to-do lists, because again, when you put a check mark, check on the most important ones, I didn't know that. I needed to learn that it doesn't matter how many you check; it means how important they are. Yeah. So you can check 10 things, like follow up with a client, go outside and do groceries, or I don't know, start a spreadsheet. But if you know that your priority right now is to follow up with clients, and you checked everything else besides following up with the clients, you don't feel that great. But if you start with the most important thing from your to-do list, first thing in the morning, you're the shit. Yeah. So that is when that is the routine, and then I do everything else, and also going to bed earlier. Again, it's all about the routine. Second, surround myself with people who I admire. Lauren, Shema, Zoe, and other real estate professionals. Or I even like to hang out with my friends who are doing amazing in other fields, obviously. I have a few real estate friends, but I also like to hang out with people who just energize me, who share the same thoughts about different things, with whom we have the same background. And it's amazing how each of us chose our directions and are moving forward with them. So it's a fun time, but it's so much knowledge there. And you need to recharge, because you cannot always work. Shema can, but I'm not Shema.
She is the outlier. She is special.
She was meant to do the job, and I like to think that I was meant to do the job as well, because I truly enjoy it.
Yeah.
But she's like, what's going on? are you from this planet or now? That is why we formed such a good group with her team, because we're so different, but we are super dedicated to our clients. That is why other agents say that people from LG Fairmont, they're so knowledgeable, they're so professional, only because the management invested in us so much. Right. And we know what we're doing. We're not guessing what we're doing.
Yeah.
So second, it is people. Third, I don't know what to say about third. I would say it's like two main ones. And then learning. Try to learn from people, from books, from YouTube videos, because I cannot stress enough how much I still don't know, but I'm willing to learn.
Yeah. Can you speak on that a little bit more? Because I can't tell you the amount of agents that come to me, and they could be even a year in, they can just be brand new, and they say they don't feel like they know enough, so they're not comfortable in front of clients. And that's like the biggest thing. You have to put yourself in front of clients, even when you don't know something. And I know you being on a team and having support made you feel more comfortable, but tell everybody kind of how you got over that, because that's the biggest thing. People don't have enough knowledge, so they don't feel confident.
So, again, it's all within yourselves.
Yeah.
First, fake it till you make it. That is what they say, and it's true.
Yeah.
I couldn't speak English. I came to the United States on a program Work and Travel, and I forced myself to speak only to Americans. Then, again, that is why you can learn and read so much. Preparation is key. So if I know that I'm going out with a client and I know that I'm nervous, I'm stressing out, I'll do my due diligence. I do my work, and I will study everything about the listings, and I would think from a buyer's perspective what questions they would want to ask. So I'm coming prepared. That gives a huge advantage. Interesting enough, I had a Russian client who was an interesting guy. Because we share the same culture, and in our culture, men, let's say women, man, who are older, who have money, look at me from up till down. They give that look. Can she help me with the process? She looks like she's a teenager. Like, what's going on? Am I trusting her with the biggest purchase of my life? So that is when, again, I needed to come back and prove that I'm worth it. But because I came prepared and I knew what to ask, I knew that he didn't trust me in the first place. I asked great questions, but without interrupting the listing agent. And I got the main thing out of the listing agent. He said, "Oh my God, you have an amazing broker." I was like, "Thank you." But of course, I didn't hear it from him, the client himself, but it was some other agent who's like 30, 35 plus, saying good things about me. And it's amazing. Again, I was still new. I was 2 months in, but I was able to make an impression.
Right.
Again, if you're on a team, doesn't matter if you're on a team, you can say, "Oh, that's a good question. I will need to research that more," because you can say it recently changed. So I will come back with you with an answer. Yeah. And you can ask your manager, you can ask your team leader. I mean, me and Shema were always on the phone. Sometimes we're so busy, but I know that if I ask her a question, she will give me a reply. And reply is usually within like minutes. Right. So it's definitely a huge help. But if you don't know the answer, blame it on someone else. But verbalize it correctly. Verbalize it beautifully. Just say, I don't know. Say, "That's a good one. Let me come back to you with a question."
Yes.
But it's also about me. I'm very shy. I can be shy. I can be nervous. But I know if the situation is solely depends on me, I will do everything possible in order to make it good. Because I cannot look foolish in the eyes of my clients.
Right. And you carried yourself really well. And I remember that helping you a lot, because you and I spoke about this, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I remember you coming to me in that session before you started taking out your big clients, and you were nervous, you were having the same concerns as other agents. And I remember us having that conversation. I think it was a turning point for you. I said, focus on your connection with your client.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. And then the next session you come back, you're like, I went to the movies with my client. We went to dinner. And I think you closed that client too, if I remember correctly. You did.
Yeah.
So you came back a lot more comfortable, because knowing you're not going to know everything as a new agent. It's impossible. You're new. I'd be nervous if you could retain that much information. You'd be extremely powerful. That's nerve-wracking. But you're supposed to take these steps, but you just have to get yourself out there. And you've got to allow yourself to make mistakes, because that's how you learn. Right?
Oh, yeah. I only learn through my mistakes. And one thing that I wanted to mention, my clients never asked, how old are you?
Good.
Because it might be a question. But because I am able to put that look, because to this point, I know a lot, because again, I have a huge help. You as a beginning, so you were the core, and then so many other people added, and I was observing everything. But I cannot observe enough if someone else is doing the job for me. I can listen, but that is not how it works in my case. But I've made mistakes. I've made a few of them, but we were able to fix them. But right now, I will never let it happen again. Right. So that is why only from doing things you learn. Again, it was my mistake. You can listen as much as you want. You can learn as much as you want. But if you don't put in knowledge into action, it doesn't worth it.
Right.
Done.
Right. And remind me, how old are you?
Well, I'm about to be 25.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Your birthday is coming up. That's pretty good. I was just thinking about it when you were talking about, you were working with the 30-year-old other agent, for him to give you a compliment felt good. Yeah, you're fresh in it. And that's a good way for me to move into my next question, which is, what were some of the struggles that you went through and still go through as you continue your real estate journey? Because it's an ongoing struggle, but focusing on those positives help, but you're always going to have more questions. There's always going to be more to learn.
And I am that kind of person who doesn't afraid to ask all of the questions. I can be annoying, but I warn people, hey, I'll take a little bit of your time. I have a number of questions. And they're usually okay with that, because again, if you read books, people who achieve something, they enjoy sharing their knowledge. They enjoy sharing the information. And I'm so grateful I have these people in my company. But the number one struggle was self-worth. I thought that I was a piece of shit and I couldn't do anything. But Lauren, you opened my eyes, and I clearly remember that conversation. And you said, hey, Evelina, you've achieved everything you were dreaming about. You have it right now, right? I was like, yeah, kind of. And since then, I was like, I only need to dream, but dream in the right way. I need to constantly, I became obsessed. Okay, so I was in self-worth. And I, with every single fiber of my body and everything, I wanted to change it. I became obsessed, and obsessed is an amazing word. I became obsessed about real estate. I became obsessed about how I want to be, how I want to look, and what life I want to live. Because without helping people, without doing something that brings you joy, and you can see the end result, people are getting homes, they enjoy the process, they like everything that you do, and then thank you at the end of the journey. That's such a great feeling. But because I didn't have that base, so that is why I became obsessed. I was thinking about real estate all of the time. I was listening to all of the possible channels about real estate. I was listening to your videos. I was like, I'm not kidding, I was speaking to Shema for hours, and she was doing that talk. She's my friend, she's my sister, and she's my team leader. She's everything in once. So that is why, like, I had a huge support on my side. So yeah, because of how much you obsessed, how badly you want it, you start attracting it in your life. And right now, when I wake up, I think about how I want my day to be. I close my eyes, I smile, I try to attach some emotions to that, and I live my life. I live my future life. And I don't know, that day is never a bad day then.
Wow.
So I'm still working on it. But again, another thing is that you said you have a great amount of agents you're working with, but I don't know how and why. You mentioned that sometimes you mention me, and you said that I see them. I see that agents, they text me on Instagram saying, I know you work with Lauren. How is everything? Oh, Evelina, blah, blah, blah. They say something amazing about me. And I was like, oh my God, people think that they like me. That's incredible. Why don't I like myself? If a number of people, I don't want to say look up to me, but even if they like follow me on social media or they speak to me when I'm at the brokerage, I was like, I had no idea. I had no clue. And that is when I needed to stop that talk that was going on in my head that I'm not enough. I am enough. If I'm not enough, I will fix that. So first it was self-worth. Then it was lack of knowledge. But again, because I worked on myself, now surrounded myself with people who know, who can give advice, that became easier. What I can also say that I had financial obstacles as well. Real estate is not your paid job. You're getting commission, and usually you get commission down the road, half a year after you put a deal in contract. It is a long time, but I needed to change my attitude towards money. I needed to understand that, you see, that's the direct relationship of how much you work, how much you invest, and how much you get. So that forced me to work even harder because I was in need. And if I can say one advice to agents who start, save up a lot, because you want to be able to invest in something that would bring you faster to where you want to be, such as coaching, such as personal development. It doesn't need to be like paid. You can literally read books and attend some seminars. It's free, but you're gaining so much knowledge. But I cannot think about something else, Lauren. You know myself so good. Do you remember about something else that I forgot to mention?
Well, you hit on some really good ones. Some of the success blocks that I really work on was the self-worth. And I know we worked on perfectionism together too. And those were some of the ones that all intertwined together. And you've done such an amazing job of like overcoming them, but managing them, like knowing that there's still a struggle, but they're present in my life and it's okay. Like I'm going to move with it. I'm going to meet it. And every day I'm going to work on it. And that's the point in your life to where you're at. And that it's every day you just do the best that you can. And I think that's the big takeaway. It's like, you're always going to have struggles. And it was really awesome to hear you talk about your struggles in the way that you did, because it's like, you're so aware of them, but you never stop working on them. You never sit there and say, whatever, this is just life, whatever, this negative self-talk is just part of life. It's not. And it doesn't have to be. You can be whatever you want to be. You can think however you want to think. And I think you're a pretty good representation of that. And I think that's why people look up to you, is because people see your story, they see you grow, they watch it and they're like, wow, I want to grow like that too. I want to try really hard. I want to fall and pick myself back up and not give a damn and say, whatever, I screwed up. And I think it's really been huge for you. So I got to say, like, I can't say it enough. Like, I'm so proud of you. You are incredible.
Thank you.
You are, you really are. It's great. It's great to hear how you're doing now. And I can't wait to see what else you do. And I got to ask for my last question, do you have any more tips for any agents in the field looking to get into the field before we go?
Okay, so let me think about that because I want to be very specific and I want to help. In my case, just chatting from my experience.
Yeah.
Try to be honest with yourself because I was lying to myself for such a long time. Sit down without any distraction. If it helps to go in nature, go for a walk, take a pen, take a piece of paper, and I don't know, like two versions. First one, be honest with yourself and answer yourself honestly what you think your obstacles are. After sitting in your head for 10, 20 minutes, the answers will come. And usually it's going to be, oh, aha, true. But when you define them, work on them, write a list of them, and know that is what is holding me back from my dream life. And who wants to suffer? No one. Everyone wants to do amazing. So you can do that. Or you can, again, sit by yourself and just write your dream life, how you want to live it within 5 or 10 years. And just feel it, live it when you write, and reread these stories that you would write every once in a while. Yeah. And these will bring you, like, because of the law of universe, whatever you put out there, you attract. But you cannot just write it down and forget. You have to work. Consistency is key. Repeating every single action is key. It's so easy to get bad habits, but they destroy you. It's so hard to get good habits, but they help you tremendously. So I would say write a list of what you want, who you want to become, and work on that. Don't work at 10 steps at the same time. Choose one and perfect that one. When you perfected it, move to the next one. I have a card of what I want here. I'm sorry, I will not show you. It's right in front of my face. It is 11 pointers. And when I sit down in the morning, drinking my coffee, I see that. I was like, if I want that, what can I do today?
Amen. Wow. Thank you for that. I think that's going to help a lot of people. And it's beautiful that those are the practices that you put in place and that you're continuing with those. So thank you, Evelina. Thank you for sharing everything that you did today. Tell everybody where they can find you, your Instagram, your handle.
So you can find me on Instagram. My nickname is Evelina Kushnir. I would be more than happy to welcome you on my page, share my story. And I know one of the obstacles that we overcame was social media. So I'm happy to share everything I learned, and we will be learning together. So my main platform is Instagram. That is where I put my strengths and effort. So let's catch up there.
Yeah. And I'll put your handle down in the description for anybody who wants to go check that out. Thank you again, Evelina. I can't thank you enough. This was so amazing to talk with you. And I think that
I can't thank you enough.
You're very welcome.